the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Megan Shepard. It's so great to have you with us. Concerns within the construction industry on Grand Bahama were discussed last night as the Building and Development Services Department of the Grand Bahama Port Authority hosted a workshop for local contractors at the Charles Hayward Library. Kimberly Mullings has that story.
Building inspector with the Building and Development Services Department of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Nicholson Miller, presented a number of best practices which governs the local construction industry.
The presentation tonight was just to sensitize our licensees, our contractors, on contractor responsibility, our responsibility to the city as it relates to construction and buildings, and the need for obtaining the necessary building permits for works that are to be carried out within the city. It's important that the contractors come and inform us of everything that they're doing, because we have a right to know, and we have a right to ensure that what they are doing, they're doing it to a code compliant standard.
Also making a presentation was Health, Safety, Security, and Environmental Manager at Buckeye Bahamas Hub, O'Neill Wildgoose, who spoke on risk management. He emphasized the importance of using job safety analysis and why companies need to adopt this standard. Wildgoose added that many contractors only follow safety measures at Buckeye Bahamas because they are mandatory.
It's not a part of their core values, rather it's just a condition of employment. And so it's important for us to get outside of the walls of Buckeye and also speak to the contractors one-on-one, letting them know that it's not all about conducting work at Buckeye Bahamas Hub, but it's all about the employees, ensuring that people go home at the end of the day, the same way they came.
Licensed contractor and president of his own marine and general construction company, Jason Roker, found the workshop informative. However, he believes that cost has a great deal to do with why these safety policies are not followed.
Too many times we find contractors cutting costs because they're already forced to work with a client whose budget is already restricted. And so everyone is somewhat in a bind, and so everyone tries to cut costs. Is it good? No.
The GBPA has partnered with the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, where all levels of construction are offered. Head of Department for Construction Trade at BTVI, Kenton Roker, says they teach in compliance with and reference to the GBPA's building code, and safety is paramount at the institution.
We deal with the Canadian code, and just last year BTVI had someone come in to show us the upgrades that was done to the code, and the Port Authority sent their representatives in so that they too can get the upgraded information. So BTVI is staying on the cutting edge of the construction technology to make sure our contractors, all those involved in construction, have the right information.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
The opening of the 2017-2018 school year is quickly approaching, and school officials are putting the final touches on their classrooms and preparing lesson plans. But as preparation goes into the school's curriculum, a union executive is calling for a holistic approach when it comes to child development.
Look at what Martin Luther King says, intelligence plus character. That is the role of education.
Area Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Quinton LaRota, optimistic about the upcoming school year. LaRota is welcoming new teachers to the school system and also offering some words of encouragement.
I want to tell them they're entering an honorable profession. It may be dissatisfying in some ways, but when you see those kids that you've taught, that they grasp it, they learn it, and they're able to function, and you see that the impact that you can have on the lives of those children, man, the feeling that gives you, there's nothing that could replace that. It is an honor to have them, and I want them to realize that the union is here for them, and that we will assist them in any way that we can, and we look forward to integrating them into the Grand Bahama District and the culture that we have here.
While the purpose of school is to gain education, LaRota says that it should not be the sole purpose. He noted that oftentimes the general public is only concerned with examination results, and he believes that more emphasis should be placed on developing the whole child.
One of the things I hope we focus on going forward is moral education. And I know there's some people that may be falling into this postmodern idea some new age idea about instructing kids in morality or Christianity or something like that. But crime is, I think, the biggest threat to our country. The economy is threatened by crime. The fear of crime. It is changing how Bahamians live, how Bahamians see themselves, and how they see their country. It's changing how we are seeing it in the international community, and so we really need to get a grip on it.
LaRota adds that there are already too many citizens in jail or out on bail. Now, apart from addressing the issue through the police or the courts, LaRota says he believes that it must begin by changing the minds and hearts of society.
That requires a moral intervention. A Christian intervention will be my preference. But we need to teach our children again how to behave. Right and wrong, respect for people, property, honesty, integrity. Those values that used to make us, in terms of behavior, the envy of the world. We need to get back to the basics.
Director of a local youth group addressing members of a local service organization where he shared his life journey and the significance of giving back. Kimberly Mullings reports.
Founder of Reach Out Youth Ministry, Dudley Said, started the program after becoming the victim of a very serious crime that changed his life. He was recently invited to visit the Lions Club of Freeport to share his story.
In 2006, I was about to get married to my wife today. Because of the bad choices I made, they broke into my home. They tie up my wife, tie up my son, put a gun to his head, stabbed me 7 times, and shot me.
Said says that in that moment, he pleaded with God that if he had survived that tragic incident, he would do the Lord's work. From then, he birthed Reach Out Youth Ministry in 2009 to do just that. He has hosted a back-to-school giveaway for the past 9 years, uses basketball to attract young men to the mentorship program, serves breakfast to children daily, runs an after-school homework program for the community, participates in an annual Christmas toy giveaway, and so much more. Even though he has a passion for the youth, Said laments the fact that despite positively impacting the lives of countless young people, his son was arrested and is currently serving time at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Facilities on a murder charge. Lion Keith Bain, president of the Lions Club of Freeport, says Said's life mission is in keeping with the philosophy of the club and its youth arm, the Leo's Club.
I was surprised. I didn't know his story. And when I heard the story, I was kind of amazed because you hear about Reach Out Ministries, but you never knew what it's really all about. And when I heard his experience that he had and his passion, and I understand where he got the passion from, and what it did, it would reinforce passion that we would have as a club.
Member of the local Lions Club and longtime friend of Said, Steve Burrows, commended him on all that he is doing to impact young people on Grand Palm Island.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of courage. And like you said, sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. And then it's a lot of people, money involved in a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff he's doing that he has to go in the streets and help, look for partnerships to help him. I commend him. I really commend him for the job he's doing because it takes a lot. And for what he's trying to do to save our young people, that is tremendous effort.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Officials at Hutchinson Ports announcing this week that 3 new cranes are scheduled to arrive at the Freeport Container Port early next year. This announcement coming as officials at the leading transshipment terminal in the region witnessed the dismantling of Crane 3. The crane was damaged by a fire in April of 2016, then in October of last year was damaged as a result of Hurricane Matthew and subsequently written off. The crane was a part of the container port's original fleet over 21 years ago, and a decision was made to replace and not repair the crane. Dismantling of the crane was handled in-house and headed by the company's engineering department. Officials say all safety precautions were taken and industry partners were notified by the Freeport Container Port, including harbor control, safety operations, engineering, security, and the risk department. Stay with us, there's more news right after this.